up, everyone, and welcome to Up and Out. I'm your host, LaPorsche. Back to our regularly scheduled program. Did you all see that Beyonce popped up at Taylor Swift's movie premiere? She's such a supportive queen, isn't she? My goodness. Now, to know me is to know that I am a Beyhive member. Beyonce has even shouted me out before. You remember I told y'all that every time I talk about a Beyonce story, I'm gonna tell you that Beyonce shouted me out, all right? You can go look at it on Instagram. Well, there's been this long-standing belief that the Swifties and the Beyhive are enemies. And I think part of the reason Beyonce showed up is so people can let that very false idea go. That's just not true. Like, I've never argued with a Swiftie about who was better, because even Taylor Swift acknowledges that Beyonce is her OG. You know, she recently posted and she said, I'm so happy. I don't want to even know what my career would look like without a Beyonce. So I think it's a very pointless argument. They are two very different artists with two different stories, and they've supported each other every step of the way. Speaking of Beyonce supporting Taylor Swift, critics are actually feeling Taylor Swift's new movie. The Advocate Channel's David Daniel has that and more in today's Hollywood Minute. Check it out.
Welcome to the Eras Tour.
Fans aren't the only ones excited about Taylor Swift The Eras Tour. The first reviews of the concert film are raves, saying it lives up to the plentiful hype. So far, it's at 100% fresh on RottenTomatoes.com.
Primrose Everdeen. I volunteer! I volunteer as tribute.
The original Hunger Games movie will be back on the big screen before the prequel arrives next month. 2012's The Hunger Games is returning to theaters on Sunday, October 15th and Wednesday, October 18th. Go to fathomevents.com for locations and showtimes.
Whose car is this? Whose sun visor is this? What's the sign?
And an even bigger question, who are the new voices of Rick and Morty? All Adult Swim will say is the characters sound more like themselves than ever as the animated comedy series returns for season 7, premiering Sunday. And that's the way the news goes in Hollywood. I'm David Daniel.
At least 14 Americans remain missing in Israel following attacks on the country. The United States says it's committed to finding them. And the Biden administration says it will start offering charter flights out of Israel for those Americans who want to leave the country. At least 27 Americans have been confirmed killed since the fighting began on Saturday. CNN's Erica Hill has some of their stories. Take a listen.
Beaming smiles, everyday joy, now forever frozen in time.
She's an amazing person, and each and every one that met her have loved her. She's done nothing wrong and nothing bad to anyone.
Eyal Waldman's 25-year-old daughter Danielle was born in California. She and her boyfriend Noam recently moved into a new apartment. They adopted a dog and were building a life together.
They went to a party to celebrate peace and love.
Danielle and Noam never made it home from the Nova Music Festival.
She told me in the last meeting that she and Noam have decided that they will get married. Unfortunately, we will bury them together.
Aryeh Shlomo Ziering was a captain in the IDF's dog handling unit. The dual citizen spent his summers at camp in the U.S. His aunt, Debbie, describes Aryeh as a fun-loving, athletic kid who was passionate about protecting his country. Captain Ziering was 27. Yigal Walk's ex-wife says he moved back to Israel 2 years ago to care for his mother. On Saturday, Hamas attacked the village where they lived.
Yigal and his brother were part of the security team, the patrol team in the village.
Yigal and his brother Amit, both Israeli Americans, were killed.
Brother was Yonatan, Johnny. Everyone called him Johnny. Tamari is my sister-in-law. She was running for the council of the area of a bunch of villages. She was such uplifting, such quality human being.
Renee Butler's brother Johnny and his young family, along with her mother, Carol Simintov, were murdered at the Nir Oz kibbutz on Saturday.
Great loss. Such a big, beautiful tribe we had. Half of our family is gone. This was our life. This was our love. I had 14 nieces and nephews. I have 11 now.
A family shattered as countless more wait for word on their loved ones and wonder whether they will ever be whole again. Erica Hill, CNN.
Now, you know I love a good interview from our very own Rachel Smith. She spoke with the director of Fairplay, a new Netflix film coming out, and it explores a romance that takes place in the workplace, and everything is good until his partner gets a promotion before him. And listen, I can't wait to see what happens in the end. It's such a relatable topic for a lot of women these days as we continue to work to close the gap. But what happens when the world and social media tells men that they have to be first? Here's what the director had to say. Check it out.
What are you doing?
You know it's just a game.
You played very well. Are you gonna pitch me to Campbell?
I don't think it's a good idea. We both can't keep working here.
I'm not quitting.
Thank you for such a thrilling, thought-provoking, and dare I say, very daring film. I mean, this is really a unique viewing experience that I am still thinking about today.
I mean, yeah, that's why I made the movie. I just feel like this is something we need to be talking about. And, you know, I think the problem is I feel like this is, and I feel like the way people relate to it is this is an unspoken thing that I think both men and women feel on a daily basis and have normalized, you know, and this is something that I wanted to kind of sound the alarm on and say, we should be talking about this. This is not normal. And, you know, this is getting in the way of healthy relationships.
Look into this. Let me know what you think.
I'm still working on the 3 from before.
Okay, we'll make this one the priority. Can I buy you another?
Now that you're making more money than me.
It's interesting, a lot of men right now, the modern generation, they are evolved, they are progressive, they are feminists, they want to be supportive of their partner, but they were also raised sometimes by a generation that is in the past a little bit. And so they're kind of trying to reconcile those two things. So they're trying to do their best, but sometimes you still have these really sticky situations.
Yeah, no, and that's what I wanted to show with the character of Luke, that, you know, it's not his fault for having these feelings. You know, he adores Emily because of her talent. He adores her because of her ambition, you know, but he was still raised a certain way, and there are certain things instilled in him, you know, and this idea of course he wants her to succeed, but this idea also that he needs to get there first, you know, because he's a man and because of, you know, what masculinity, you know, means to him and what society has told him masculinity is, you know.
You're gonna end our relationship by setting off a bomb.
We all do filthy things, but we don't trick it back into the office.
I mean, Phoebe blew me away. I mean, people who watched her, all those people, millions of people watched her on Bridgerton.
Yeah.
What an absolute opposite performance for her, because the absolute, what do you think Bridgerton's fans are going to think when they see this performance on screen?
I mean, I think that, you know, I really think Phoebe can do anything, you know, and I think if you were a fan of Phoebe from Bridgerton, you're going to be a fan of this, you know, and it'll definitely shock you more than Bridgerton, you know, but I think that that's a good thing.
More shocking than Bridgerton. That's a good quote. That'll get people to watch for sure. Forget the corset. The suit is much more powerful, for sure.
Yes.
And it was interesting
to accept that I deserve that job.
I never got the shot.
This job, it's killing us.
Listen, thank you all so much for joining me today. I'll see you next week, girls. You know, go out, have a good time. Fall is upon us. All right? Bye-bye. Oh, this green ain't it giving?